Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Oh, it is recording. Sorry, it was not showing my value in the actual FS window. Right. I was going to do this off camera again, and I thought, no, let's do it. Let's do it on camera. Now, you can sort of get away with this on flat maps, but on maps with natural heights, you can. I thought, do I still want this as it is? And I thought, no, because I also it's the challenge of like, can I do this, pull this off within the game where it's not too terrible? That's the real thing, and I think we've sort of got, excuse me, all of the pieces that we need for this. With it being running downhill, it doesn't have to run downhill. But I will sort of state that, but you need enough room to be able to change the height without it looking to another field. We might have to go steady with the field edge. We can in time change that, but obviously I've got crop in the field at the present, so that's the only thing that's going to make this look a little bit weird as it is now. It is going to do something, and I was right. I knew that it would do something to this, because you sort of got to bring everything that's visible to that sort of level. And it's probably this would be the starting point. Or no, I think I'd like to start. And it's got to be in here a little because you've got to like go over this. So I'm trying to think, are we going to start with that and then we'll work backwards? Maybe that's not a bad thing. I think I'm going to time lapse this because it could take a while and I don't want to rush it. But if I'm slow, it could take all session for me to do this. So I'd sooner time lapse it. Well, you're at least listening to a little bit of what I consider all of the tracks I ever chose for this were always things. There's two or three that are a little bit, I'm sort of slightly unsure, but the rest, I always really like them a lot. So we need to, first of all, the main trick, the beginning point of anything like this is you raising the ground. Let's give it a bit of intensity as well. Maximum intensity. Got to have a point that is at the top of where you need to go from. A game sometimes, yeah, is a bit stubborn of like not wanting to go any higher. You've got to like, do it in levels. I've gone past where I needed to go. Yeah, oh, it keeps on like... No, I think we can probably work with that. It's not quite at the top of where I would like it to be, though. I don't want to go any higher than that. I need to one more click higher, I would say. Don't seem to want to, yeah, maybe just that. We don't want to go too high either. And the real trick to this is actually the leveling tool. It is. That is your real trick. And the trick, we don't really want heavily to destroy that hedge on the left. That's the bit that's going to be nasty. So using the leveling tool, maximum intensity, and going like a little bit bigger. Now what we're trying to do is we've got to go from that point. If we do it too big, I'd sooner do this. Yeah, it's typical. That tool goes from like small to massive. It's a typical Giants thing that it doesn't like just increase a little. It like, it's huge. So this is the one that by default I would probably work to. And then you would just do that and then literally go across like that. And then you basically work from that. And maybe this time I have gone a bit mountainous. Maybe I have, actually. It does seem so. It does. We may give ourselves the money back for this as well, because this is us mucking around. And we've obviously, the one bad thing is we have got our worker working in the field. So we want not really to go too far in that. But we do want to go over that like that. We want to go up to the hedge, really, without going through it on the other side, really. Right, I think that is the canvas we have got to work with. It is. Right, typically my top compute, which has been on all night, is just finished. Oh, I didn't realise it did that. I'm just going to save that. Right, apologies for this. Yeah, I didn't realise it did weird things if you're in the this particular screen. It's It seems that it does weird things. Just trying to shut my top computer off. It's not fair that it's like been on. I need my uploading to do. It's yeah, I sort of left it on busy, but I don't want to stress it anymore. It does have to put up with quite a lot. I rely on it a lot as my studio sort of PC, and I don't want to ever like take that for. Oh, it's all right. It had me mouse on it, so I've got to like bring it back. Right now then, so let's concentrate. So it needs all my to come over here as well. Now I think we got away with this bit of land. We are going to do things with it. I don't think I've ever quite done it like this, but I don't think I'm too far off. Ooh, why did... Oh, no, it scares the living daylights out of me the way it does do that. Right, and now, we've got to use this tool. You can do without this, but I personally think that this is the best. Now, it will chip a bit of this off if you choose that top level as your target point. Right mouse button. Now, we are going to be to try to meet that, and it knows when we use this that that's where we're going to join it to. So it's got to like give it quite a bit of ramping to actually match that, and it knows that, which is the entire reason you set the slope target point. You will see it is taking some of the... I think we've got to do this right. It may go through the fence a little. Why is that like mucking around with the left bit though now? Maybe my start point was a bit different. That's better. It is. Right, okay. We're going to have to put the middle of the road and the grass and all that type of stuff back in, of course, I do realise. Now then, obviously, we can do this bit from here, but we can't do that bit. So let's do it again, so it knows it's a different thing. We're coming from here this time. It still knows it's severe, though. This is where we've got to be really careful we don't go too heavily into the crop, which we are already encroaching a little. That's it. Now that I've bridged the two things, so we now need to soften where I've met the two a little. And if we don't like this, I can always like restart the game. I need a little. We don't need intensity for this too much, so I need to knock this down to like minimum just to soften. Yeah, it always does horrible little nasty edges if by naturally so. Always want to soften them a little tiny bit, and then the same on that side. I'd like to fill that in a little, but it's... I don't know how we're going to do that. Okay, I could always... Yeah, no, it's true, we could do that. Yeah, we could sort of hide it with a bit of trees or something like that to make that too terrible. So far from this side, that's what we've got. Okay. Obviously, it's not finished. It does always look terrible at the, like when you're halfway through. It really doesn't look pretty to begin with. Now then. Now this is going to be the real one because it's coming from about 3 different places. It's going to be quite wide. But we're going to start from the middle. And I would say, again, so this is the one we want. That is the top. Let's give it intensity again because it does it quicker. It's the only thing it does is like it does the building quicker if you do like the intensity to max. It's costing us a fortune, as you can see. I would say from about here. Notice it's a less intense join then. It's very big. I think one more size would be better, I think. And then this time we're going from every single angle you could possibly think of. Because it is that kind of like slope where you literally... Now then, my telehandler's going to walk around with this. That may actually partially obscure the lump. And then where it doesn't quite work right, just do it back again. It's all about the starting point. If you're changing the starting point, which you do by mistake sometimes, then it does do different things. That's not too terrible. And then a tiny, not top intensity, minimum intensity, to actually just soften the things and make it nice. And maybe a little bit at the bottom, just to sort of like take any severe lumpiness out of it. The sloping tool is not bad. I do think I'm right though about this edge. Looking at this now, minimum intensity again. No, I think, is it on minimum? It's got to be. It's not going any less coloured. Just like to stop, make that horrible harsh edge go. And I think that's not too terrible. Oh, I shouldn't have eaten that scampi and lemon. It always does that to me a little bit. Right, yeah, that's not too terrible, I don't think. So let's now put it back together. I think the colour of this from the farmyard is not too far off. And it's mainly road. I think we're going to leave it. We're just going to do what actually Cavalier Roy did as well. A little tiny bit of grass in the middle. So we do really want, if we do the undergrass first, do it? Yeah, no, we do it. Although he hasn't done that, I think it always looks better if you do the undergrass. So let's do, yeah, this refraction malarkey, in it, that you got to find out the angle that you're working at, and then it's always wider than you think as well. I don't know, I think it's a bit too much green on the outside. It's like joining. This is where it's going to get awkward. So you're coming from like different angles, almost like a triangle. I thought I was time-lapsing this. It appears that we're not. Well, it's not taking terribly long, I've got to be honest. But it is true. I was supposed to be time-lapsing this, but it appears... I suppose it... How can you time-lapse and, like, talk to someone through something if you're trying to, like, sort of show somebody something? How can you do that and explain why you're doing what you're doing? And I think that's probably not too terrible a thing, really. I think we could have really done with the longer grass. It looks... this seems to be more controllable, though. It seems to go exactly where you place it, unlike when you're painting, which never goes exactly where you... yeah, that's one tool that really could, with a bit of an overhaul, because it really is very, very messy. If I painted here, it would like go to the left or the right, and you've got no control over that at all. Which you really should have. We'll do the middle bit first, and then we'll do the bigger sections. We need to do... that was, yeah, more of a bleed. It does seem to pull the colours or the materials that are... It's quite a clever tool, but in another way, sometimes it sort of does things that you don't want, but it's sort of trying to be a bit clever. So that's not too terrible a thing. Let's do some splashes of... I would like to make this like rock, as if it was always like that. I think it always adds when you're doing that kind of thing, if you make it like rock. I always find the times I've actually done this, forest rock, they're usually the ones I use, I think. But you can actually use a proper stone. Moss rocks, I think, would be probably best for this type of area, I think. Not sure, actually. I think it would have been better. Yeah, that's more like it. Now, I realise I've caused myself grief for the field that's not going to be a field for much longer, so... We've sort of, in a way... No, we haven't. We're still... The shortcut's still valid for, like, you know, doing what we need to do, and then we need to do tiny little dabs just to, like, bring that in like so. I think that's it. Proof now is actually driving over the thing to see, is this a viable thing or is it a right mess? You know, like, let's choose to come from here. Now, obviously initially, I don't think I've ever done one yet where it's right. You know, where you think, oh, it's a bit bumpy there, I need to soften that a little. So that might still be a thing. But like, as for everything else, it's more about, can we... Yeah, that's okay. What about from this angle? Anything terrible? No, that's all good. And from the bit where it originally was over there, how about that? Yep, spot on. Oh, that's the bit I missed. I knew I'd missed some grass. Yeah, this big chunk here is what I was thinking. Yeah, this bit here is what I was sort of knew that I'd missed. Yeah, right, brilliant. Okay then, so yeah, so we've moved. No, we haven't. No, the road is exactly where it was before. It doesn't need to be there. But maybe I observed the original thing a little bit too much, and we should have moved it sort of much more left than it was. Maybe a bit of softening just at that last little bit. That's the only bit that I would say, yeah, that's terrible. And I mean, when I say terrible, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's just a little less than I would like it. One more. So soften, definitely, not maximum. Don't think it does it when you're on it, does it? I don't know. It's that bit there, I think. It suddenly goes quite hefty at that particular point. Just about there. Yeah, just about there, I think. That's it. That's not too terrible. Let's have a look. See that, let the dog see the rabbit, as the old saying goes. Fantastic. Not too terrible. And quite wide enough as well, I think, for almost any vehicle. Probably the best one I've ever done. But again, I did recognise you do need... Yeah, now, again, such things do go. Now, obviously, you would not think there had been a fence there. Now, the other thing is I'd like to do is just to see, because I have not checked the other one. Because whatever's happened to this one, the original one, Kinlake was the worst I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like it. A hedge that grows up through the ground. I've never had that on any other map. But Kinlake is a weird... Yeah, it's like not right. So please, let's hope that it's actually where we put it and it's not grown through. Yes, fantastic. Now that's how it should be. And that's not too terrible either. We didn't actually do a vehicle. So let's do this. So we've now completely changed the, it's a bit wide, the path, but it is a little, I'm not the only one, map makers do it as well. It's not as easy as you think. Let's have a look down here. This may need a bit of work, because I was trying to fill the bit in, because there was a hole on the right hand side, and the level made it go a bit, yeah, and the other thing is, I'm covering over mess there. So we could sort of, I think, obscure that with a few bushes. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. So plants, we want bush. Seems to be that they need like flat. No, it's okay. They do erase themselves, though, is the one thing I would say. Yeah, let's try and put a bit of flowers as well. Why not? Oh, now that, yeah, now that's nicer. Yeah, I like that. And let's see, any more, like, different coloured flowers? Why have we not got any flower lovers? Yeah, one red. Is that all we've got? Or what about this one? A bit more red. Oh, that destroyed me. Let's leave that big bush alone. Do a little tiny bit there. And maybe a little bit. Oh. Okay, now that I didn't mean to do that one. Can I? Oh, you can. I didn't know you could. You see, that's something I've never used before. Remove. Yeah, now that's a useful. Again, that is a really useful. And I suppose if we're clever, if we use the bigger red ones, we could sort of disguise a little bit the back, because you're obscuring. You know, you're putting something in the way of people's eyes. That's sort of drawing your attention away from what you can see a little. You know, as in like the bad bits, which is map makers also use that exact trick frequently to long grass and things like that, so you can't see. So let's have a look now. Let's go back up and see. Is that okay? And this is still without map editing. That's the thing that I've always loved about this. Now, this is a bit narrow. You can get through, but it's like obviously not really for big input. I mean, again, height-wise, my kind of shed allows this to actually work, so that's not a terrible thing. So from this direction, not too shabby. Not too shabby. That may be the only bit that needs a little bit of softening. I think it looks to me, apart from a corner, 2 corners. Oh, just found something. Oh, fantastic. What were we looking for? Headers. Yes, so we've got one of our headers come through. Brilliant. So we will indeed. We can't buy that. We know the very large trailer is broken for some reason. It did work, and I didn't change anything. And then obviously we had an update of editor, and it's broken it. And it was fine before. Right, so let's buy that. Yes. Fantastic. So that's one of the 2, which is at least in time for the harvest. It is. I like it. Right, so then we were about to finish the field off. We were. We also do need to remember... No, we've done the canola. Yeah, no. Well, we do need to do wheat. You see? And again, I do concur with what I said. There's not... Our money has gone down heavily. It really has. We've spent 100,000 on that kind of thing. Yeah, I know I said about giving it me back, but I just think you should borrow a bit of cost for, like, doing major things like... I mean, admittedly, it's a little bit... dearer than I anticipated, but then I'd imagine in real life such excavations would be like that. So let's do the other corner. I think that was it. And then as far as I'm concerned, I'm quite happy with those expensive alterations. Really though, I think we should have rounded this corner. Yeah, to go with FS25 likes round corners. It does stop your workers doing all this faffing around at the corners to a degree. They like to faff, basically. So I think this one we're going to like do a little bit of rounding rather than doing this, and then we'll finish. Yeah, that's something I don't like as well. Vehicles really... Yeah, I mean, come on. At what point are you... Mind you, no physics is trying to be realistic. It's being pushed by a very heavy object behind. That's why it's continuing more than normal. And I think that's probably quite true. So then if we do start off with the underlayer, and we've got to go further than you think to make it absolutely go round as it would like to be. And yeah, I've tried this out. Garth Farms was my reel where I did an episode on this, you know, like where we actually did it properly, and it really made a difference. I mean, completely, not a single, you know, like blocked when I did this on Garth Farms. I literally took really nice round corners, and the worker worked the entire session without a single block, and I mean a single blocked. So it really is, yeah. I mean, you can see that only is a smidgen of a little tiny bit left to do due to the round corner. Right, fantastic. Now, obviously, the only thing we can't alter is the one thing. Well, we can. We could continue to do what we did and come into the field. Oh, and I do like that because this is quite a small... You know, it is... Yeah, this has... I had a lot of issues getting through this. It's only just big enough for this implement. So this is a real test, isn't it, really? When you've got something like this coming into the farmyard. Excellent. I do love it. No, but yeah, it's true. But all our other fields are to the left, and I don't really want to be like leaving stuff over the road. Although it's true, I suppose. Thinking about it, it wouldn't be a terribly bad thing to leave certain... knew I was going to do that. Leave certain implements over there. Like one of the planters, like leave the 9 meter over there and put a shed over there. Once we've done a bit of the... In the back end, we're going to do a bit of the tree work, I think. And I would like to see how well our trees are doing. Not the trees, the chipping factory, the boarding factory actually is its real name. See how well that is doing. Yeah, it's a bit of bleed through from the other side. The trouble is, if you start mucking around with it, it often does bad damage on the other side, and you really don't want to do that. The very best you could ever hope for was if you use a leveling tool, but you still risk damaging the other side, and I really don't want to do that. So, yeah, we haven't used the biggie, have we? No, these are the middle size I'm managing because it's only 11 and 9 meter job. Ah, that's a bit rough there. I see you. Needs a bit of softening on the bottom of the ramp. If a job's worth doing, it's worth doing well, as that old saying goes. So, we've got intensity. We shouldn't have it forgets. Yeah, no, it does. I think... Can we get rid of a bit of that? A tiny bit of soften. As it should sort of pull the level down a little. Or pull it up, which, and I don't mind which it does. Just as long as it does away with that would be nice, I think. Let's have a go. I always think you need a vehicle for this sort of type of test, and zoom in a little so, yeah, people can see what's happening. Yeah, if you're too far out, you really can't see what's going on at all. No, I think that actually looks much, much better. Yep. Spot on. Right, so let's save it. So brilliant. We have done all of our projects bar the finishing off, and we need to do our crop to get to that. It's the last thing we need to do. So I'm quite pleased with this. We've done more on Drumard than I've done on many other farms, and it to me, I've not one of those looks terrible. So when I first started to do this, some of my attempts were a little bit... But I'm not sure in FS25 that the tools were quite up to it. They're not quite there, but you can know the tools well enough to know how you can compensate for the tools, really. And uneven surfaces, they do happen. Again, you can get away with this by sticking a bit of grass or plants around it so you can't see the fact it looks such a mess, and it does. So do you know, let's just do that. Let's finish that off. I think we use the plants because it's instant, like hide. White stalk. Okay, let's give you a chance. Let's make it look a little like that. And there's a bit more I could do with just there. Yeah. It's not as thick coverage, but again, it's sort of I mean, we all know what to look for because we've seen what it is, but under normal passing cursory glance, it would be fine, in all honesty. So, right, that's it. Did I start everyone's engine? I don't think I did. I brought you all in straight away. So, nobody has got an engine that started at all. Apart from, obviously, the tractor we've just started its engine, the other case. And also the biggie. So I don't think that's too terrible, all things considered. It's still a bit of muck here that's going to get us when it gets wet, which is... but it is, that is the nature of a farmyard. It really is. So then, let's go... we did do the animals. Yeah, that was the one thing we did last session. Oh, yeah, but we've gone through the day, I think, haven't we? Now that's got been tipping already. Has that gone up? No, that is ours. Perhaps we didn't fill it. It's still not bad. I mean, there's a lot of food in there, to be truthful. So we got 36 bairns, which we knew about. These are not far off giving birth. So let's go through till 1 o'clock and see what's in the sales. Fantastic. We definitely need a bit of cash after all of this. Yeah, so 27,000 would be what we're looking for at the minimum at present. So that means we could also buy that. We could buy the BI Industries if it was working, but thanks to Giants, it no longer is. Yeah, I'm not going to rescue it. I in the end, I thought I'll leave it. So let's go through till tea time as well. Oh, my life. Okay, that was a bit quick. I like this tool though. It really makes a difference on, like simulating going through the day, which is brilliant. So that's... And we'll, yeah, no, we can do the 26 now because the money is sort of going down, isn't it, really, as we're doing this. So we're not cheating, it's just legit. So I'm not sure about the colour on that. Luckily, we're not keeping it. Oh, no, yeah, we have been buying rather a lot, so that's true. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe we've blown 100 grand on a bit of, a little bit of remodelling. Now, one of these headers we obviously do want to keep, but not this one. Now, you see, that got it first time, and it is still on the game was listening to me, which does sort of prove what I was saying, but you've got more chance of getting it if you're not on the... I can't think of its name. Unihid, that's the one. It's a bit of a strange name, to be honest. It doesn't roll off the tongue. It's not, it's like a totally alien word because it's unique, and therefore you've got to really think about it, or I have anyway. Let's just pull this forward a little. Ooh. Wally, you did the... Yeah, I did the trick where it still thinks I've got the weight on. Yeah, the only way to escape from this is actually to reset it, which is annoying, but hey ho, it sort of shows the mechanics. Usually I'm better than that. when I put it back together. But at least it does reset everything to how it should be. Now that's gone and really disrupted that. I'm not sure we'll get the unit back. Ooh. That one needs to be at that kind of angle for some reason. It did a horrible thing to us. Oh! That normally works. Wow. Well, I'm speechless because, yeah, when I've reset in the past, it has actually fixed that. Huh. Wow, that's amazing. That didn't actually clip, and it was not. Yeah. That really is in the way. Please remember to drop this off. Yeah, I would. It'd be nice if you could compensate for leaving it on and then it changed, but I don't think it works like that. Ah, no, you're too close to the... Oh, no, this is the one we need to be keeping. I've forgotten that. Yeah, I was busy going to sell that. And that's the one we need. I just hope it's... Yeah, I don't regret it, because it was doing some really weird things. Oh, okay, well... That I didn't expect, but I suppose that's true. Right, okay. Well, this has not made... Yeah, well, we've sort of, if you think about it, we've just bought a header. So we're sort of right back where we were, but we've gained the header. So it's still a win-win, really, all things considered. All that we've just bought and sold has paid for our new header. So, really, all things considered, not really terrible bad. It's good. It's just that I usually want to, you know, I've got this nasty habit. Well, yeah, I've gone up a little. So not bad for, like, you know, gaining the header too. So let's go through till the next morning. Where we got a mediocre tick up, but you can't win them all, can you, really? So, so we could so if we class at the beginning, so we could go up to 29,000 odd. Again, I'm not going to beat myself up the head. That's close enough. Right? It was never about being exact. It's about giving a range where you're not, you know, what I mean is it is still about making profit. So you know, you have got to do this now. As much as I love these, I think we've got enough. It's true. It is true. Yeah. Fantastic. I think we have got one of Matt's. I think one of the two was one of those. And we don't know. And you too. We can just afford... yeah, short is the good one. I mean, that's in like where it costs you less. So, yeah, 73,778. I'd imagine that doesn't give you any extra cash, though. I'd imagine it gives you based upon the cost that you spent. So I don't think it cares about that option if you went for... In fact, it might be worth... The only trouble is with getting something like that, you don't get two of them, so you can't really test against another one, and your human memory is such that you'd be very unlikely to remember, like in a couple of weeks when you get the same thing in the sales. Well, did that work as you thought? Right. So then Kenny's. It's the voucher first. It is useful having that light on at night, but boy is it bright. So yeah, it's got to be something in the i3D that's... I'm not sure it's supposed to work like that. You're supposed to be able to comment lights out. We switched the lights off in the XML. There's no lights left, so why have I still got lights on? There are some weird things going on, but it's almost like Giants are breaking the game more, not fixing it. Just move you out of the way as well. Let's grab that tanker. We've sort of left it in the worst possible place that you could possibly leave it. Is it doing its front? Oh, no, this is a bit of a high hitch. Still needs a bit of work. It does work with some tractors and not with others, so it's close, much closer than it's ever been before. It is definitely raised, just needs raising a little bit more. Yeah, it was only marginal. Definitely, I don't like to do it in massive changes all in one go. Even though it takes longer for me to do it, I think a little tweak is much better for modding than big tweaks where you might regret it because you've gone the other way. So I prefer to do it like in the bite-sized pieces that I do. Oh, I knew I was going to do that. My reactions are still not brilliant. It's getting, yeah, it's fantastic. So 326, we're definitely heading in the right direction. Let's go through till 9 o'clock in the morning. It is time for us to plant the wheat or barley. I think let's do barley for a change. I think let's do 9 as well. It is like past autumn. Well, past harvest time for most. Are we like going to stop, or we're just going to go straight through to dinner time? It appears that was on my mind that we were going to do that. Yeah, so I don't know what I was thinking. So 300, so 33 is about the natural limit, but I don't mind doing things like that. We are, after all, trying to make a bit of cash. No options. Well, yeah, I've got plenty of nice tractors as well, so yeah, no options either. And I think that'll be pretty much 47,000, so we could buy one more thing. So let's grab that too. Fantastic. Oh my life. Whoa, that was super fast. I mean super fast. Like as in, whoa, you know, I can hardly stop and contain the power in this thing. It's so... Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. I'm not sure I'm going to be in the box with the case. But might be kind to me. Right, and let's grab the Risutech. Seems to default to the Unihid when I jump into this vehicle most of the times. Remember to let go. Normally I'm not bad at that. I'm getting, because it's got me quite a few times, but yeah, for some reason I totally forgot about releasing. Or I did and it didn't release, you know, because I was on the Unihid back. Maybe it could have been that. I never thought of that really. Right, so then we want that. No options. We've got our lorry to do that. And last but not least, the avatar. Fantastic. Right, lorry. Do love how this is so very, very good at manoeuvring, which of course it's supposed to be. It is an airport terminal one, so yeah, hence the fact it looks a bit strange. Now then, this I've got to try and gauge this so I don't. I think I'm actually covering the bit I need. Don't think I'm actually going to do this. I think it's right there. Yeah, it's because I've got the telehandler as well. I was trying to avoid it. I might be able to get it from this side. I don't think I can. I think it's too far under. Oh, no. Fantastic. Let's move him out of the way. Still trying to adjust to that. I'm still not quite got used to the fact you have to like go backwards, which is true when you look at the thing, but it's still, I always want to like drop out the side, so I'm getting there, getting a bit more used to it. Not bad, back up to nearly 400,000. So it's September. We do indeed need to be doing our animals. And I think that probably is about a session. Yeah, with the lesson on how to build a ramp. Yeah, well, it's true. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm only trying to help. It's you know, it's only because I've done it loads of times, but there are people who are much, much better than me, but you've got to start somewhere. You shouldn't be ashamed of how good or bad you are at anything like that. I always think I think that's the right one. It is. Fantastic. And where is the... No, of course, the tanker is over the road. Is you the one? You are, indeed. Oh, this one. Oh, it has still got some wheat. But I think it had tipped it up, which is why it's not tipping it anymore. But, no, this had got room, but it might not have room for the... so it's not the pasture. It's this one. It has definitely got capacity for grain. Yeah, no, it has. So are we on right? We should be right tip. Aha. There you go. You need it to be a bit further round. So we'll grab another load of base food, a bit of corn, I think. This one suits this kind of tractor, really, this kind of capacity. It doesn't struggle with it. I think a 30-tonner. I ought to make a slightly bigger one of these and make a 30-tonner, I think. Yeah, because I've gone from like, this is 17 Yeah, 17,000. And then my next one's 47. I think, obviously at the beginning, I think that was fine, but I think now it probably is not a bad idea for a sort of small to medium farms to have a 30-tonner. Need to be quite tight against the body to actually make this happen. No, we've done the wheat. And we want the... Oh. Why have we got no corn? We put loads of corn in. What? What? Why have we lost our corn? Oh, you've not got any yet, you Wally. No, that's still to come. I'm getting confused myself with the wheat. Yeah, we've only got wheat. They've only done the wheat harvest. That's true. We've got to buy it. We've not quite... Yeah, well, actually, we have got some, but we can't get to it. We've chucked it in there. That's what's probably throwing me a wobbler. We have got some corn, but we can't get it out. Let's just go a bit closer with this one. I still don't think it'll let us out. I think it might be my fault as well. And it may be that it's not my fault and it's still not quite working yet. Yeah, no, it's not having any of it. But being as I destroyed those silos, it could be my fault because that might have been the way that you're supposed to draw it out. So that would be me. With yeah, corn. We'll check. I think we might have had births in the other place, I think. So we want corn. Let's have a look at the other place. Have you... Indeed. The pigsty. No, we knew about this one. Yeah, no, it's the other one. It's the pig pasture. Yes, births this morning. Fantastic. So that's nearly filled. So we need now to grab the 36 older ones and leave that as the nursery. That's what we sort of said. And I think it's quite sensible. So we will do that. But we'll do that next session. So what I'm going to do, note to self, is I'm going to attach the Noah to one of the tractors so that it's like note to self. We need to change the thing on left hand side then now, don't we? Being as you've gone at it like that. Can I remember what the tip thing is without looking? No. No is the answer. Oh, it was down. I did actually do it, but I didn't get to the right one. Right. So you did remember part correctly, but you didn't actually do enough clicks. Let's grab some for the other. Fill that up. And we'll stick that in the other one too. I certainly can't complain about the pigs eating a lot. Do we need some more water as well? I think it was going down marginally. Oh, it does actually take on the thing of what we just dumped as well. Wow, it looks like whatever's the most. I don't know. I don't know whether it is that, but yeah, it's done. So we have some bands, and we are coming on a pace now. When you look, it looks like the 18-month-olds seem to be the most, the dearest ones we've got. So that's 1,900, which is, by my reckoning, 72,000 if we chose to take those out. Now, we're not, but I'm just drawing everyone's attention to the fact that that's quite a considerable amount of cash Now, if we were to sort of simulators only concentrating on pigs, there would be rather a large advantage because you could zip through the months like go, 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 feed, go, and that would be so quick to get to this stage. Would it make for an interesting Let's Play? No. No, it wouldn't. I've done the same with cows a long time ago. I thought, oh, let's just do away with everything else and just do cows. And all I did was feed the cows, feed the cows, feed the cows. And I'm like, yeah, it's sort of like, is not particularly interesting. So I always think you do have to bring in the extra to make, what if I do? Oh, that'll be me doing the opening of things, won't it? So, close cover. Ah, you see, I did do something. Right, smashing. So we've done that. Fed them only a little tiny bit, and that's filled it. Fantastic. So animals are fed. We were going to jump into a tractor, and we were going to grab the Noah. Let's do it, because I agree. Note to self, Noah. We need to shift some. We could. I'm sure we've got a bit of time to do. No, it's not just one though. It's 3 journeys. We could, because obviously really time is in stasis. You could say we could grab the Noah and fill 1 set. That would not be a bad idea. So the biggies are being moved, and we're leaving the little place, the original, as our nursery, because this massive thing with a huge yard. Yeah, I don't think I had the big. Yeah, I think I did it. Oh, okay, that's one way to do it. Be careful, please don't take that little tractor out. I'm rather fond of it. Yeah, we've left him in the way. Let's shift him out down the bed a bit. Let's, yeah. Seem to be. I'm stuck. Oh, I'm stuck on the boxes. I was going to say I can't move. What is the problem? It's you bumping into boxes. I think this could do whilst we're this close to the thing that the tractor could probably do with a bit of a clean. It's sort of seen rather a lot of action, and I think it would be just rather apt that we took this opportunity whilst we're that close to the water to actually get that done. And also, I'm sure the pigs made a bit of a mess in that the first time I used it. So let's wash the muck that would invariably be inside. Although we did only go from one side of the farm to the other. So, maybe I'm talking nonsense. It has been known. Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay, so we want the 9-month-old ones. We want to grab maximum 13. Yep. Oh, let's do it. It's a slightly longer session, but at least I'll remember that this is what I need to do, and that is important. So let's get it done. Oh, that's a bit leany overy. Oh, there's a bit of damage. Oh, it's on the Noah. Maybe I didn't fix it when I bought it. Maybe. No, then I can't remember. I think it's the other end, isn't it? I had difficulty with this. And maybe the smaller tractor may be a better idea than this, because it's... No, you're not quite there. Yeah, it's because it's a big tractor. I think we ought to grab one of the littlies. I think it's better equipped for this. It's a shorter body. let's grab one then. You're one of the two, aren't you? Which, strangely enough, is not connected to anything, so perfect. Yeah, because I have sort of left myself a bit of a... It's a bit tight, really, this is, for... Yeah, I think it needs to be right around there, so... Did I reverse it? I think I did. I think I reversed it. I'm not sure that I'm going to do this at all like this. But if we're going to do it, we would be able to do it with this. Is my point. Yeah, I think we need to come around a little bit more. Slowly. No, it's not having any of it. No, so reversing, nothing to do with the, you know, like the length of the vehicle or anything like that. We did reversing before. No, it's not enough room. We need to... You see, and this is why I was going to leave it till the next session, because, like, it's all right if everything goes perfectly well, but not if it doesn't. So I think we'll just put this lot in, and then we'll call it quits. It's a nice... Holzer's like myself. He's still a firm believer that reverse needs to have a bit of welly. Yeah, I try and alter my reversing on all of my vehicles, or that when I remember. Yeah, I will say that because some of them I've totally forgotten. But yeah, I think the mover can reverse as quickly as it can go forwards, which sort of made a bit of sense for something like that. Fantastic. So in. No. My bad. Yep. Fantastic. Let's go load the next load up, and I think we'll leave it at that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's not bad. We're a third the way through. We'll load the next thing, and the next session we'll get that done. I know I keep saying it, but I am very, very pleased with the progress and the tasks we've done on the farm that are quite unique, and that I think it's all really made a difference. I think the farm is sort of... I've made it my own, and I like that. Yeah, so we need to... It's about there, I think. So in. No, out. No, that is true. Yes, we do. Right, and that is where we're going to leave it. Yeah. Oh, I've done it again. Stuck on something. So we're up to 386,318. We have, in this thing of moving around animals, we've had lots of births recently. Let's have a quick look before we scoot to make sure we've not got any harvest. No, they all look like, so everything's going to be ready tomorrow morning from the dark green. And obviously our... Now that's true. Let's also see, have we got any weeds on our field 13 needed rolling? Oh, my bad. Yeah. Why is that not showing us? It's because it's got the needs rolling takes precedence. So switch to fertilize off. Doesn't need lime, and it doesn't have any weed because we did it with we did with stone picked, and we did the so that's right. So there's no weed anywhere on any of the fields but Barfield 10, which is weedy because like there's nothing in it anymore. So that's legit. So we forgot to roll field 13. My bad. That's with what you get when you don't properly concentrate and you're doing it as a side task. You often forget the fact that at least it's not got any weeds. So I think tomorrow morning, October, everything will be ready, and we can then, after that, start to work on our secret mission of being able to go through the forest. I like that, because this is going to change from, yeah, what are we going to do? Are we going to, like, do this going down that way as well? Because it does make a bit of sense. Now, we couldn't do that before, obviously. We should, yeah, I think so. Or we could have it just going the way you've got to, like, circle your thing is down, but I think that detracts from that. I think I've got an idea. Like, I'm gonna, yeah, I think I know what I'm gonna do. Right. Anyway, all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're gonna stick with me on this journey, and I'm gonna say goodbye for now.